Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Caleb and I am the founder of Taurify. We are a marketing agency that specializes in helping painting contractors get more leads, get more estimates, and close more deals. And we see a lot of painting businesses here. We have worked with about 100 different painting businesses at this point. So we get to see the inside of how some of the successful ones operate and some of the not so successful ones operate. And we have been able to learn some tips, some tricks, and a lot of cool stuff about them along the way. And in this video, I'm gonna give you guys the top 3 first essential hires that we see people put in their painting businesses and we recommend putting in your painting business. It's important to keep in mind that when you are hiring somebody, you should be hiring for something that you don't have, a skill that you don't have, or time that you don't have. So for example, if you are a rock star salesperson, then you should probably hire that part out last. And if maybe you are super good at production and you're not a good salesperson, that is the place that you should be hiring first. You want to hire for your weaknesses and capitalize on your strengths. So let's start off with number 1 here. Number 1 is simple. This is going to be your first hire. This is going to be a very simple person that you're adding to your team, which is just a general painter for your projects. Somebody that can assist you when you're on projects, somebody that might be a little newer. You're gonna need to maybe help out a little bit, train a little bit. Not the type of person that you want to leave alone on the project right off of the jump, but somebody to provide you with a helping hand so you can get projects done faster, smoother, and do small tasks that are a little bit above your pay grade. For example, it doesn't take an expert and you don't need to be a project manager to run to the paint store and pick up an order that you guys have. However, that can take an hour away from the job site. While they're working or you're working, one of you can go run off, complete that small chore to make sure that the project is still rolling along in a timely manner. This is a position that is probably going to start out part-time and then eventually transition into full-time as your workload increases and as the amount of jobs that you get go up. And we usually see this once people pass around $100,000 per year in revenue. If you're making more than $100,000 in sales, there is no reason that you should be doing literally everything. You have to start hiring things out so that you're not stuck in your business, stuck on the tools, being the only one that ever does anything and the only one that ever gets anything done. Moving along to hire number 2. This person is also going to be in the production side of your business. This is going to be a lead painter, somebody who you can trust, somebody who you can leave alone at the job site to manage small things and fix small problems as they come up. Now, this is not quite going to be a project manager yet. You are still going to be doing that project manager task. However, this is somebody that can kind of start to run that job site and start to do things when you're not there. If the customer has a question or if an issue comes about, they can handle it. You trust them to be the talking point of your business and communicate with customers if needed. And later on, this is somebody that can start doing project walkthroughs, final walkthroughs with the client and just kind of making sure that everything runs smoothly on the job site. You're still gonna need to check in, you're still gonna need to be there, but you can step away if needed. Maybe, for example, you work the first half of the day on the job site, and then the second half you have 2 estimates to go to. So you step off, do sales, and you let them wrap up for the day there. That is something where a lead painter can take control of that, take care of that, and somebody that you trust to do that, and somebody who probably gets paid a little bit more for that extra responsibility there. However, you're still gonna be kind of the project manager here in your business. Now, number 3 here, this is one that I see people overlook time and time again. And this is a position that I feel they always hire too late. There are people that I see who are making $500,000, $800,000 a year and still don't have this position filled. And I think that is a huge mistake. And that would be an office admin. There's 2 sides to your business. There's the production side, where things get done, where projects get complete. And then there is the sales side of your business, where new jobs come from, where you grow, where the salesmen operate, and how those leads get generated and turned into appointments. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wow, I don't have $60,000 a year and an office to pay someone to be my office admin. And that's okay. This is a position that you can hire a virtual assistant for, somebody part-time for. However, it is something that I really think needs to be done. So what exactly is this office admin going to do? They are going to basically answer phone calls for you, contact leads, and book appointments. That is all. So when phone calls come in, they're going to talk to the prospect and book that person into an estimate. Their job is to be the first point of contact for new customers in your business. If somebody on your website fills out a request form, if somebody calls your business, or maybe they fill out a Facebook ad, when new potential leads come in, speed and timing is extremely important. If there was one thing that I could tell you to book more of your leads into estimates, it would be to call them as soon as possible and to literally just pick up the phone when they call. You would be surprised how many people don't pick up the phone or call you back 2 days later. I will give you guys an example. I needed to hire an HVAC guy for an issue that came up at one of my properties. So what I did is I went on Google like any normal person would in this situation. I found a few people and I made some phone calls. Out of the first 5 people that I called, the first 4 literally did not answer the phone. Their hours were listed as open. They paid for that lead to come in and it was like 2 p.m. However, because they had bad office admin services, they didn't get that sale. I didn't leave a voicemail. I didn't call back. I didn't wait for them to follow up. I just called the next person because I needed something done and I didn't want to waste my time. I promise you guys, if you literally just like answer the phone and show up, that is like 9 times out of 10, all that's needed. Showing up is 90% of the battle here. And I think a lot of the reason why people don't put such an emphasis on this position is because they don't see the value in it. But let me just kind of run through some scenarios for you here. Okay, let's say that having a full-time office admin person can allow you to answer 20% more leads and you can answer them in half the time because that's literally their dedicated job, is to either call leads when they come in, answer the phone, or have good speed to lead. If there's a person that is completely dedicated to that, I think it is reasonable that you can book 10 to 20% more jobs just by actively managing a lot better the leads that you already have. That 10 to 20% increase can absolutely pay for the price of that person time and time again. And because you have better service, because people like that experience better, they're going to recommend you better, and it's going to overall help the smoothness of your operations. Now, I think the best possible solution for this position is going to be somebody who is completely in-house, somebody who's local to your area, and somebody who's full-time. However, that can be expensive, anywhere between $40,000 to $60,000 per year. If that position helps you close 1 extra job per month, then it's worth it. However, an alternate solution is you can use a virtual assistant, a VA, somebody from a different country, somebody who is in an area where they can answer phone calls, they can act as your office admin, they can be in your CRM and help schedule things for you. A position like this is probably going to run you about $1,500 per month. And if you are making over $250,000 per year, there is absolutely no reason why you should not have hired somebody to do this, and you should be the one answering all the phone calls, calling all the people back, because realistically, you're busy. You're running from job to job, you're doing estimates, you're talking to people, you're running crews, and you just don't have the time in order to properly manage those new leads as they come in. There was a client that we were talking to the other day, and we're running ads with him, and he's making around $800,000 per year. And the problem that we noticed is that we were running Google ads for this client, and calls were coming in, but 60% of these calls were not getting answered. They would get sent to voicemail, people weren't leaving voicemails, and we had a conversation with this client. We said, dude, listen, your time is way too valuable, and you're making way too much money to not have an office admin. And you're clearly very busy. You're a very busy man here. And if leads come in and you don't answer the phone, they're literally just going to call the next person. So at this point, you're kind of wasting your money on marketing because there's not a good lead management system in there. So get an office admin to help your sales run more smoothly, to help squeeze the absolute most out of your leads, and to make your life a whole lot easier on the sales side of your business. And if your painting company is struggling to get leads and struggling to book those leads into estimates, and you want to learn a little bit more about what we can do at Taurify to help you with that, click the link below and book a discovery call with us. We're going to show you exactly how we generate leads for painting contractors and how we follow up with those leads, call them for you, and book them right into your estimate calendar. So not only are we generating leads for your business, but we're also turning those leads into appointments for you. So all you got to do is show up and close the job. So if that interests you, click the link below and we'll talk more about that. Hope you guys like this one today, and I'll catch you in the next one.